The Supreme Court hears a controversial case which could determine whether a scandalous or immoral matter can be trademarked. One America's Ryan Girdusky explains from New York.
The Supreme Court just heard a case, Iancu versus Brunetti, over trademark laws, over a company that's trying to trademark the term FUCT, which is controversial. Tell us about the case and where it's going.
FUCT is really quite interesting because one of the provisions of trademark law, which is governed by the Lanham Act, is that marks that are deemed to be scandalous or immoral, what does that mean? It's not so clear, are not entitled to trademark protection. So what's going on here in Brunetti is here we have an individual, he launched this company, he's been marketing his goods under the FUCT name, and he was originally denied entry into the United States Patent and Trademark Office for trademark rights because it was scandalous and immoral. He then appealed to the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board. They affirmed the original decision to not include it, and then he sued all the way in federal circuit court.
So now what happens if the Supreme Court rules in his favor? What will that do to the law of the land?
Right. So it's really a critically important case because if the Supreme Court rules in his favor and agrees that the Lanham Act's prohibition against scandalous and immoral trademarks violates the First Amendment, then that's going to be struck out of trademark law. So moving forward, people, presumably, depending on the scope and width of the application of the Supreme Court's interpretation of the law, would now be allowed to use scandalous and immoral trademarks in commerce.
Was there any interesting line of questioning from any of the Supreme Court justices during the testimony on the 15th?
Yeah, I think one of the more interesting parts of the debate that was going back and forth between the attorneys and the justices was, what would be the limiting principle here? You can imagine if a person, a whole number of people were to just start creating trademarks that said horrible, obscene things on them, true profanity, real swear words, just horrible stuff. Do we really want to be giving trademarks to that? So there is some competing interests here.
All right, Abe, thank you so much for speaking to One America News about that.
Thank you very much.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.